3, 6, y, you end up with 5x plus 2.
Hello everyone, today we will be having interval notation as a review before we proceed to domain of a rational function. Domain and range are sets, and sets can be written in different forms. One way of writing sets is this way. We call this the roster method. In this method, you are simply enumerating the elements of your set and you're just going to enclose them inside curly brackets. We can also build sets by describing the elements that is in it. We call this the set builder notation, and it looks like this. If we are going to write this set in set builder notation, it will look like this. You see, set builder notation can be a little bit intimidating. It looks complex, it looks complicated, but let's try to break it down. We read this as the set of all x that is an element of natural numbers such that x is less than 6. So yung involved lang na numbers dito sa set na to ay yung mga natural numbers. When we say natural numbers, these are the numbers that we use to count. That's why natural numbers are also called counting numbers. And we start counting at 1. But hindi lahat ng counting number kabilang sa set natin. We only consider those that are less than 6. And ano ba yung mga counting numbers less than 6? Of course, we start with 5, 4, and then 3, and then 2, and 1. These are the numbers that are less than 6. Set builder notation requires you to describe your elements. For you to do so, you have to master the real number system. Please review the real number system. I believe that is a topic in grade 7 mathematics. Now, what is the difference of the two? In the first one, may nakikita ng special letter. The next one, wala. So in this set, we only include the natural numbers. And of course, if we're going to enumerate the elements of this set, since natural numbers nga yan, at less than 6, ano ba yung mga natural numbers less than 6? But dito na walang nakaspecify, it means that we are going to involve the whole set of real numbers. When we say real numbers, kabilang na dito yung mga decimals, fractions, and the negative numbers. So when we say the set of all x such that x is less than 6, you are not going to start with 5, but you are going to start with 5.999. Pababa sa mga negative numbers. And we don't know, hindi nakaspecify dito kung saan siya mag-stop. Since it goes on forever, it is infinite, we are going to use this notation, negative infinity. Now, how then do we write interval notation? You see, interval notation is a convenient way of writing sets, especially in writing domain and range. If we say the set of all x such that x is less than 6, the first step for us to write an interval notation is to draw the number line. We have to determine the numbers that are involved in our set. Since less than 6 yan, we are going to use open circle. Why open circle? Because 6 is not included. Yung mga elements lang natin dito ay yung mga numbers na less than 6. And 6 is not less than 6. So 6 is not included. So yung mga numbers less than 6, magsisimula sa 5.99999 up until negative infinity. So how do we write it? From negative infinity up until 6, but 6 is not included. Please observe kung anong ginagamit kong grouping symbols kasi later you are going to differentiate. Next, x such that x is less than or equal to 6. Since less than or equal to 6 yan, kung nandito si 6, we are going to use the shaded circle. Ang ibig sabihin ng shaded circle, kabilang si 6. Sabi kasi sa inequality natin, x is less than or equal to 6. That's why in the set, we also include the number 6. So from 6, hanggang na negative infinity. So how do we write this in interval notation? From negative infinity up until 6, and 6 is included. Now, what is the difference? This inequality, you will be using the parentheses. Meaning ng parentheses, hindi natin i-include si 6 sa set natin. But if we use the square bracket and shaded circle yan, meaning nun, 6 is included as an element of the set. So paano naman to? X greater than 6. So if we have here 6, since hindi kabilang si 6 dito, we're going to use the open circle. Since greater than, ano ba yung mga greater than 6? Of course, to the right of the number line. So from 6 hanggang na positive infinity. To write this in interval notation, since 6 is not included, we use the parentheses up until infinity or positive infinity. Kung mapapansin nyo, always po na parentheses ang pinapartner kay infinity at negative infinity. Bakit parentheses? Bakit daw hindi sila included? Kasi walang definite na number kung ano yung infinity na yan. So next, x is greater than or equal to 6. Nandito si 6. Since 6 is included in the set, we use the shaded circle. Greater than, so to the right of the number line, up until infinity. Writing it in interval notation, it will look like this. So I hope you see the difference. Kapag ka included, we use the square bracket. Kapag ka hindi included, we use the parentheses. So paano po malaman kung included o hindi? Of course, we see kung ano yung ginamit na inequality symbol. Okay, so let's try to write these sets in interval notation. Here, the set of all x such that x is greater than or equal to -5 and x is less than 6. First step is to draw your number line. Of course, the center ng number line, we have 0. Since positive 6 yan, that is located at the right side of 0. And since negative yan, nasa left yan ng 0. Now let's try to see if we're going to have shaded circle or an open circle. Okay, unahin natin to. X is greater than or equal to -5. So dito, since greater than or equal to, we are going to shade. I-shade natin yan kasi -5 is included. And sabi dito, greater than. So papunta tayo sa right. Next, x is less than 6. So since less than 6, 6 is not included. Less than yan, so we are going to the left. So kung titingnan nyo, dalawang arrow yan. We are only going to consider the area kung saan sila nag-overlap. So ito po yung area kung saan sila nag-overlap. So how are we going to write the interval notation? Magsisimula tayo sa -5. But since -5 is included, we are going to use square bracket. So ano yung mga numbers na kabilang sa set? Magsisimula yan sa -5, agpatangga na kani 6. Magpatangga na kani 6, ngam ni 6 kataan nga included, iso nga ti usaran tayo dito kat parentheses. So yan po ang interval notation ng set na yan. Let's have one more. The set of all x such that x is not equal to 0. So lahat na ng real numbers except 0 ay elements ng set na yan. So we are considering all numbers. Of course, except 0. Okay, since 0 is not included, we use the open circle. So we consider the numbers to the right of 0 as well as to the left of 0. How do we write this in interval notation? So yung mga elements ng set na to ay may susulat sa interval notation na ganito. From -infinity, agpatangga na kani 0, ngam 0 is not included. Agrugiman ng kani 0, but 0 is not included. Agpatangga na kani positive infinity. So as you can see, there are two intervals. Kino-consider natin yung mga numbers natin dito, as well as yung mga numbers na nandito. So bali, we have two intervals here. Pero paano natin i-combine yan para maisulat as one? We use this notation. We call this the union of sets. So hindi lang ito, kundi pati ito. Both numbers from this interval are elements of our set. So let's proceed to the last one. Wow, this looks very, very complicated. But let's see. We draw the number line, 0 at the center, 6, -5. Now let's see. Since 0 is not included, we use open circle. Now x is greater than or equal to -5. So we are going to shade -5. And we are going to the right. So naman, x is less than 6. 6 is not included. We are going to use an open circle and we're going to the left. Sabi kong may ganito, we are only going to consider the area kung saan sila nag-overlap. And ito po yung area kung saan sila nag-overlap. Kaso, doon sa area na nag-overlap sila, may nag-iisang number na hindi pwedeng i-include. Now, how are we going to write this in interval notation? Since dito magsisimula, -5, shaded yan, so we are going to use the square bracket. Agpatanggalang ka ni 0. But 0 is not included. Pero ang elements natin, hindi lang dito kasi meron din sa kabila. So we're going to use the union of sets. Agrugi man ang kani 0, agpatangga na kani 6, ngam ni 6 kataan nga included. That's why we are going to use parentheses. So yan po ang pagsulat ng interval notation. So writing interval notation can be pretty challenging, but kung nasanay ka, it will be very easy. So thank you again for watching. I hope you learned something.